Right now, the Dow and S&P rallying despite these big growth names sliding and adding to tech in particular. There was President Trump revealing to Axios on HBO that while Facebook, Amazon, and Google are great companies and that he wants to help, his administration is looking seriously at antitrust investigations into all three companies. Here to weigh in, Paul Dietrich, CEO of Fairfax Global Markets, and Mark Lucchini, Chief Investment Strategist for Janney Montgomery Scott. Mark, let me start with you. It's pretty obvious today that while these companies have issues that they didn't probably have a month ago, fundamental issues, that the idea of additional scrutiny, government scrutiny, is also weighing on them big time.
No question, Charles. I mean, obviously, you're adding anxiety to the market participants who are already viewing these companies through perhaps a slightly different prism than they did a month ago, as you had said. This isn't new, of course. We saw this played out here earlier this year when Mark Zuckerberg and a few others from those kinds of companies were paraded in front of Congress to talk about the release of data and sensitive information and other prospective predatory practices. And so this has been a risk as an overhang on these stocks and will continue to be, because obviously, the devil's going to be in the details. What does that mean? What could be imposed on these companies regulatorily, or perhaps alter the way in which they do business that could shave the growth rates of these companies and not support the valuations that they currently own?
Paul, I know you're also, you have a legal hat, a lawyer's hat as well. So there's the legal aspects of going after them on antitrust grounds. But just the notion that there are countries in Europe, whether it's the UK and this tax or European regulators, everyone's coming for a pound of flesh from these companies right now.
They are. I think it's more of a PR problem than it is a real problem, and investors need to understand that. You have to actually show anti-competitive practices, and the Federal Trade Commission and President Trump's own antitrust lawyer at the Justice Department, they just haven't found it. They haven't found it in the EU. They found problems with pricing, with bundling, and privacy issues.
Doesn't mean they couldn't go after them, though, right? Because you've got this one case already where the Trump administration, a lot of critics didn't think with the Comcast thing that there was anything there, and yet they've aggressively gone there. So just the thought that they can still pursue this, not helping these stocks.
Yeah, that's true. But these are fines, and they're relatively minor fines. I hate to say it. It's not regulatory reform. We're not going to get regulatory reform out of Congress, because if we have a divided Congress, forget it. We're not going to have anything out of the Justice Department because they can't. They've shown that they can't find anti-competitive practices. The EU is going to lead this.
Are you concerned then? Do you own any of these stocks? And if so, are you concerned with the recent action?
I don't own any of these stocks.
Right.
I will tell you, I think Amazon, the word is that Jeff Bezos is considering breaking his company up into two, which would be something that an antitrust play would do. And it would probably add value to the company as a whole, because they're two different industries. There's the retail and the cloud.
Right.
I think that would be good for Amazon.
Quick, guys, I want to ask you about the trade situation. Last night, President Xi spoke. This is ahead of the G20 summit, and he used the words openness. He used them countless times, and he stressed that globalization can't be reversed. And so, my question, Mark, is, for me, I took that it was something of an olive branch heading into the G20 meetings, even though there weren't any specifics. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it might have been a little of that, Charles. I can't help but think it's a little bit speaking to other countries in the Eastern Hemisphere around which and through which China's trying to establish hegemon status. And so it was saying, hey, look, we can take the higher road here and consider our borders open to trade with you, and kind of put an arm's length U.S.'s behavior around that topic, and perhaps maybe try to create a standoff on the part where maybe the legs get taken under the U.S.'s position on this negotiation.
Real quick, Paul, they did talk about lowering tariffs. They talked about foreign laws and IP protections and punishment for those kind of things. Key issues at the heart of our negotiations with them.
It is. I mean, we are eventually going to win this trade agreement, because we buy so much more from them than they buy from us. It's like it's a game of chicken, and President Trump is driving a Mack truck, and they're driving a
Right,
VW
right.
Beetle. He's going to blink first. But you look at what he said last week to top party leaders, and it was different from what he said today. They are going on a self-reliance campaign, and I believe they're still going to continue to steal our technology.
I don't think that changes no matter what. Gentlemen, thank you both very much.